What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. So today we're actually going to have Justin, the man, myth, the legend. Justin is going to call in today, any minute now, and we're going to talk a bunch of sports today. For probably the next, I can go today for about an hour or so, a little more than that if we really want to. So very shortly, he's going to be calling in to the show. Until then, NHL free agency continues to spin off. Last night, Lightning signed John Carlson, 2 years, 17 million. So that was a surprise because Carlson, obviously, he finished last year in Anaheim after that crazy long tenure in Washington for 17 years. His rights were traded to Carolina. Now, Carolina didn't give up much. They gave up some nobody prospect and a sixth-round pick for him. But you would think if they were trading for his rights, they had the plan to re-sign him, and that's not what happened. Now, 8.5 million a year is a lot for a defenseman who's going to be 36 or 37 years old. But Carlson's still a great player. Had 14 goals and 46 points last year, or 46, something like that. So he's still an elite offensive defenseman, and he will join Tampa Bay Lightning. So he will be heading to Tampa. Also, they also signed Ila Mikheyev, a 4-year deal worth $3.85 million. He's joining John Carlson in Tampa Bay. Let's pull up his numbers real quick. He's a forward, 18 goals and 36 points last year. In Chicago, his second year in Chicago, played for Toronto as well as Vancouver. Before that, he's going to be 32 years old. Came into the league a little late. Wasn't 20. He turned 25 upon coming into the league. But he had a good year last year. Actually, the best of his career, points wise and assist wise, and almost goals wise. He'll be 32, and Lightning signed him as well. The Oilers make a move. They signed Freddie Anderson, 1 year, $1.8 million. So Freddie Anderson heads to Edmonton. So this is definitely the best goalie the Oilers have had, if you ask me, in the McDavid era. That's really what they've been missing on this run. Of course, you went to back-to-back Cup finals. This past year, you lose in the first round. All rumors about will McDavid get traded. He's only got 2 more years left on that extension. But Freddie Anderson, look, the guy's always hurt. He has played more than 40 games in a season, one, two, three, 4 times in his career. He's played 13 years in the league. Started his career with the Ducks, was in Toronto for a while, has been in Carolina since 2022. Very good goalie. Last year wasn't great at 36 years old. Only played 35 games, went 16, 14, and 5, 305 goals against average, 874 save percentage. Was a starter in the postseason, played well throughout the postseason, but got to the Cup final and just completely fell apart. Was really bad. Got benched for Brandon Bussey, and Carolina completely turned things around. Not that they were, not winning every game. They still were, right there in the series, obviously, but then they completely took control of the series once Brandon Bussey became their starting goalie in the Cup final. That's not a great sign, but the year before that, in 25, again, he was injured a lot of the year. But when he was healthy, he was really good. In 2024, he was injured most of the year again, but when healthy, was one of the league's best. He was on his way to a Vezina. So for outside of last year, when he's been healthy, he's been one of the best goalies in the league. If they can keep him healthy somehow, this is a guy who could be the missing piece for the Edmonton Oilers. But got to keep him healthy. Definitely got to keep that guy healthy. So we will see what happens with that. But they bring him in. I think for that price tag for a year, it's worth it for the Oilers. They also signed Ryan Shea, 5-year deal worth $4 million a year. He had a breakout year in Pittsburgh on their blue line this past season. 6 goals and 35 points for him. He's gonna be 29 this year. That's a big sign for the Edmonton Oilers. They like to beef up their blue line with Ryan Shea. They also trade for Devon Levy from the Buffalo Sabres. They send a 2008 third and seventh round pick to the Buffalo Sabres. So Oilers make a few moves. Bring in Devon Levy, who is a goalie prospect. No, not really a prospect. He hasn't played a lot of hockey. Last year, he was very bad. He's not been good in 39 career games over 3 seasons. He's got 329 goals against average, 894 save percentage, but he is still only going to be 24 next year. And they got a lot to get him. Winnipeg Jets make a couple of moves. They signed Mario Ferraro, 3-year deal worth $4 million a year for him. He heads to Winnipeg after spending a bunch of years in San Jose. He was in San Jose. He's a defenseman, very good player. 7 goals and 23 points last year. That was the best year of his career last year. Going to be 28 years old, and he heads to the Winnipeg Jets on a 4-year deal. Winnipeg also signed Stuart Skinner. Speaking of Oilers goaltenders, a former Oilers goalie, 2-year deal of $3.75 million a year. I've never been a Skinner guy. He's an okay goalie. I think he can be the solid number 2 goalie. I don't think he's a star, especially not on a cup team. Last year, actually got sent to the Penguins for Tristan Jarry midseason. And Jarry was a little bit better than him, but still not by much. Last year, and flipped the game between the two teams, 292 goals against average, 888 save percentage, and then the 2 shutouts. He's gonna be still only gonna be 28, and he heads to Winnipeg Jets. Interesting, because Connor Hellebuyck, who's probably the best goalie in the league right now, he's been rumored to be in some trade talks. So I wonder if they made that move with the expectation that they are going to trade him, possibly, or it could be they just want to have a better backup behind Connor Hellebuyck, which would also make a lot of sense. But you always wonder that. The Kings were busy. They typically aren't free agency. It doesn't always work out for them. Like last year, they had disastrous free agency. But we're going to get Justin up here. He's going to join us this afternoon. We got a lot to talk about with him as we wait for him to connect to the Twitter space. But yeah, Kings signed Scott Lawton. And is he there? Not yet. Might be the service on either his end or on my end. He should be coming in any minute. But Scott Lawton is back with the Kings on a 3-year deal. Scott Lawton had 13 goals this past year between Toronto and the Kings, came over at the trade deadline. He's going to be 32. He's been playing 13 years, been in the league for a while. He was in Philadelphia for a long time. But he's going to be back with the Kings on a 3-year deal. Matt Zuccarello was signing a 1-year deal worth $1 million. Plus, he can get more on some bonuses. Zuccarello, longtime Ranger, became a fan favorite. The New York Rangers, been playing for a long time. He's going to be 39 this coming year, but still a good player. Had 15 goals and 54 points this past year. Still a very, very good player. The very solid second or third line left wing. And the Kings add a veteran to their team. And they also bring back Corey Perry, a year for $1 million. The Aegis Wonder continues to play another season. He started the year last year with the Kings, got traded to Tampa for a second stint in Tampa at the end of the year. He's gonna be 41 years of age. Still a good player. Had 17 goals and 37 points last year. Definitely future Hall of Famer. Was in Anaheim forever. Obviously, went to 4 Cup Finals in 5 years with 4 different teams and lost every time with 3 different teams. Kind of hard to do. I think Justin's gonna be popping in now. What's up, Justin?
Sorry,
Yes.
sorry, I had some technical
So good.
difficulties. So yeah, so you're talking about I don't know. Last time I was here, and this before I got before my Twitter got crashed on me. You were talking about Stuart Skinner going to the Jets. Sound like that?
Yeah.
Very jealous of you to call him a goalie.
Yeah, he had a tough time in the postseason the last couple of years, but he's out of Edmonton now. But he was out of Edmonton last year.
Yeah, leave it to the Jets to pick up an.
These Jets teams are making just questionable moves on something about it.
Yeah. So what are you talking about?
We're talking about.
It's like Cody Rhodes.
Right now we're talking NHL for agency, but what I really wanted to talk about today, first off, I actually wanted to get your take on the Giannis Antetokounmpo trade. As everyone knows, you are a Miami Heat connoisseur. Now, I know your opinion on the trade because you also told me off camera. I let other people, the listeners and viewers, know my take on the trade, but Who better than the biggest Heat fan we all know, and you, to give your take on the Giannis trade? Uh-huh.
Got to give that Heat team some more credit.
Yes.
Outside of yes, that Eastern Conference is fucking atrocious.
Yeah.
But they did play a really tough Spurs team, and they had a lot of elite talent there.
They did.
They had a lot of elite talent. So Dwayne Wade was that guy, Chris Paul was that guy, Ray Allen was that guy, and let's remember they even won a ring without LeBron.
They did with Dwayne Wade and Shaq at the end.
I feel like you dash yourself more so, less without the Heat. Ask about the Heat, more so ask. Did the Heat really need LeBron, or did LeBron need the Heat?
He definitely needed the Heat. Dwayne Wade taught him how to win. They really did. I know. And
also about that 2017-2016 run, I was watching the Knicks finals with my family. Congratulations to them, by the way.
Thank you.
It's a little bit late, but I'm sure the catharsis is still there.
Yes, it is.
But I remember that the Spurs, when they were playing the Spurs, Josh Hart went up for a layup. Luke Cornett blocks it off the backboard, and they called it a goaltend because it was over the cylinder.
I remember that vaguely, yes.
That is 100% a goaltend. But LeBron's chase down
it was also a goaltend. Yes.
One of to me, it's a hot take here. That is one of the top 3 worst playoff calls or no calls I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it was so obviously a goaltend. You're right.
It's the top.
Yeah.
Number 2 was the pass interference no call against the Rams.
2018, yes.
Chase down block.
Definitely, because especially in Game 7 the finals in the last minute and 10 seconds, absolutely.
Dalla, step block, it's 2 points.
Yeah.
It's a 2 points, it's a goaltend. But anyway, yeah, so you want to hear my opinion on the Giannis trade?
Yes, please.
I don't know. I guess I just really point the pictures, I gotta connect the dots here. An aging player that was dominant in Wisconsin, who won a championship there years ago, doesn't like where he is, and decides to go to my team even after being aging, being a baby, and making way more money than he should at this time in his career. Kind of sounds like Aaron Rodgers.
I had never thought of that comparison, but that's why you are here. Yes, that's not exactly the same thing, but yeah. From a personal level, absolutely.
To where I don't like Giannis. I don't. I think he's a baby. I think he's a great talent, but I also think he's a little bit overrated.
He's a little bit, yes.
But also, I couldn't say that he wouldn't be an asset. My issue is this: you gave up everything for him.
Yeah.
You gave up every single asset you had for him. And there's some times where I did sleep on it, and I realized, okay, some of those assets that they gave up were not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Tyler Hero is inconsistent and has some severe character flaws, severe character issues, really, really bad character issues. Then you had Khalil Ware, who I didn't even want in the first place. You knew that. We were watching.
Yes, I remember your reaction. We were watching the direct. You wanted Jared McCain.
And I did not agree with it at all. And looking at the way players like Jared McCain panned out, and even Dalton Connect for the 2 minutes he could play on LeBron's Lakers system.
Exactly.
They looked better than Khalil Ware did, and I'm like. I thought I was a freaking genius. I thought I should have been a scout right there.
I did too.
Then Kasper Chukwuchonis again was the wrong pick.
Mm.
I actually thought outside of that top 5 in the draft class last year, I didn't think there was a right back.
It was a top heavy class, and once you got out of that top 5, 7, there wasn't a whole lot in that draft last year. Mm. Yeah.
For me is losing Jaquez and the picks.
Yeah.
Because that to me was, because first of all, I'm sure everybody feels that way too. You could look at something like the Mikal Bridges trade and see that they gave away 5 first-round picks and they end up winning a championship out of it.
Right.
But then you could also look at the Paul George trade where they gave away their next 10 years of their life, 10 years of their life. And now the Oklahoma City has a team that can easily be a dynasty whenever Chet decides to eat a steak. And they 2-time VP in SGA.
Right.
Say what you want about him. I'm tired of hearing he's a flopper. He's a great player.
He's the best scorer in the league.
Yeah, he's the best scorer. It's a bad like almost no other.
Yeah.
And he's an incredibly clutch player and an incredibly defensive guard.
Yes.
Very good defensively. Like okay, he gets to the strike probably 10 times less than prime James Harden did. Please get on.
Yeah, let's people pretend like he's the first guy to ever do it. Like Reggie Miller did that. I'm not even trying to discredit him as much as I don't like him. He's a Hall of Fame player by a mile, but even he did this kind of thing, and that was back before going to the line was popular. Yes.
Don't like they won't do it. So let's not put Shea on this
pedestal.
On this pedestal. I'll put a target on his back.
Right.
And say that the Oklahoma City is the most dislikable team in the NBA because I just don't agree with that either.
The Spurs to me are more dislikable. Like Wembanyama is an amazing player, but he's kind of a dick.
He's to learn to lose.
Yeah,
he needs to learn. He's been acting like this though since those under 19 tournaments.
Yeah,
he got destroyed by Chet, and he bit on his jersey. I was pissed, and I get it. He is, and also for most of his career in the biggest things, he has always been a second place person.
Yeah,
this is the third
his whole life.
This is the fourth time if you want to count in-season tournament to where he's come in second. He came in second in 19 against Chet. He came in second in the Olympics. He came in second in the NBA Cup, which I don't count, but whatever.
Yeah.
And he came in second in the NBA Finals, which, I kind of don't count that. No, I'm kidding. Of course I count that. But moving off that, the biggest problem to me is that Pat Riley has overvalued Bam Adebayo completely.
Yeah.
He has overvalued him. You need to if you offered Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero, I think, and 1 first-round pick, I think that trade goes through.
Probably. You would have given up you would have given up less assets at the end of the day.
Just like Bam as a person.
Mm.
Like him, he seems like a cool dude, and he's overall a solid player. But you're holding him to this, you're acting as if he's prime Bosch just because he has the same soul patch and goatee as him does not make it personal trade.
Mm-hmm.
And I never like it when my team gets the target on their back.
Yeah.
And now it's like I'm not going to hate watch them, obviously, unless they get LeBron. And then I might have to switch over to being like a Net fan for 2 seconds.
That's somehow worse.
It's because they're irrelevant, but
that's true.
It's not Knicks is because New Jersey.
That's true. They once upon a time were in New Jersey. Not that long ago, honestly. It's been 12, 14 years, yeah. What was it, 14 they moved? Yeah.
Teams ever?
We're in Jersey. They got to the finals, or East Finals at least. Yeah, lost to Kobe. Yeah. Everybody did.
They were a really good team. But it's going to put a target on our back, and I'm actually going to put a target on the Heat's back as well as a fan. If Giannis is not a 30-plus point per game scorer this year and top 3 in MVP voting, I will call this trade a bust. I will.
If they have to win a championship, but he also has to go out there and be a superstar.
If they are less than the 5 seed this year, I will call this trade a bust. Mm-hmm. They need to win a ring, to me, in the next 3 to 4 years.
It definitely, yes.
Going to watch this team. I don't want to experience like the Jets, to where Aaron Rodgers was Aaron Rodgers felt the injury at the beginning at the first thing. That's unlucky. But then after that, he was so unbelievably bad.
Yeah.
And his attitude and the way he wanted things done around there set the team back 5 years. Yes. And look at the way Giannis babied his way out. Look at the moves he did towards his own team back so many years. He is no worse than James Harden, if you ask me.
Yeah.
He is James Harden with a championship. Look, James Harden did to that team. I want Dwight Howard. I want Chris Paul. I want Russell Westbrook. I want Boogie Cousins. I want John Wall. I want a trade. I want this one fired. I want that. I want I want this one fired. I want to play for this one. I want to play for that one. Look at it's Giannis is the exact same way. I want Damian Lillard. I want Chris Middleton gone. I want Mike Budenholzer gone. And you fire Mike Budenholzer, and you have never made it to the set. You have not
playoff series
since. You have been a first round exit since then. You owe Mike Budenholzer the biggest apology in the world. He is probably sitting somewhere punching the air. He's probably punching the air like this is
why you
should have got me. But it scares me though, because with the amount of power that Giannis has and the amount of power all these players have in every sports league nowadays across the board. Spo to get fired because I still consider Spo to be one of the all-time athletes. I still do. I know he has only 2 rings as a head coach. I get it.
I mean, there's a lot of coaches who don't have champions, and he's got multiple.
Yeah, and so he's taken them to a finals.
Yes.
They've had Jimmy Butler and nobody.
Mm-hmm.
He saved Jimmy Butler's career.
Yeah, he was Jimmy Butler. Yeah, Jimmy was known as a character disaster, and it felt like in a season you were like, oh, he was just misunderstood a little bit. Even if it's not the case, like you're right, Spo really turned things around for Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, so overall, I give the trade. If I have to be objective, I'll give it a C. If I had to give it a grade, if you ask me, I give it an F because I didn't want him. Mm-hmm. But I'll give it a C because it's the amount of picks you gave up and the loss of Hawkins that really killed me. And I hope that Spo doesn't get fired for this. But Giannis, you better be the 5 seed. Otherwise, I'm hopping back on the show and I'm going to rant about it.
All right. So a small part of me would love to hear that. For you, I hope they win a ring. But for my show, I would. You're welcome. You're welcome. For my show, I would love to hear a rant because Justin Rant feeds families. But let's continue on. I'm going to talk a little bit more hockey. A lot of moves that were made. Eric Gustafsson, who I can't believe is still playing, signed with the Kings. Eric Gustafsson is still in the NHL, which is kind of crazy. But so he'll be 34. He also feels older. He had that one crazy year in 2019 in Chicago, and he had 17 goals and 60 points. And the following year, he had 6 goals and 29 points between Chicago and Calgary. He was on the Rangers in 24. Was kind of okay. Decent puck mover, but not good on the back end. He played just 2 games all of last season. If he's healthy, he's still a fine, like, third-pair defenseman. Can move the puck, but not very good on the back end anymore. Kings bring him in. I think it's a cheap deal. Got some news about your Devils, Justin. So they've made an offer sheet for Barrett Hayton from Utah. So it's for a year, 4.7 million. Utah has a week to match it since he is a restricted free agent. But if they do not match, he's a solid player. He'll be 26 this year. Was injured for 15 games this past year. Had 10 goals, 25 points. The year before in Utah, had 20 goals and 46 points. So he's a good player. He'll be 26. We'll see if Utah matches. If I had to guess, they will, but I'm not sure. If they do not, he'll be the Devils. He'll play in that contract, and the Devils will forfeit that second round draft selection in the next draft.
I'm also in like 40 games this year, so I'm not. I know what I'm getting with the Devils. I'm not ready for another Devils season. Just get me to college football. Just take me to college football.
College football should be pretty nuts this year, I will say. And then we got Anders Lee, the captain of the Islanders for a while now. He signed in Utah. He's an older player. He's gonna be 36 this coming year. Had 19 goals and 42 points last year. He signed in Utah. He gets a 3-year deal with $5.4 million. I think that's a good deal. He's not quite the same player. He's not going to score 30 or 40 goals anymore, but he's still a very solid second or third line player. Got good size. Gonna be 36. Probably should have got a year less than he did, but it's a good move for a young team to add a veteran who can still be a 20-ish, 50-point guy a season. Detroit makes a couple of moves. Nothing that'll make the Wings fans not scream their head off, but Steve Yzerman is still the GM, and Dylan Larkin is still there despite requesting a trade. But they make a couple of small moves. They get Keegan Kolesar on a trade with Vegas. They send a 27 7th round back in a 2029 third round pick the other way. Keegan Kolesar comes over to the Motor City. Just okay last year, 6 goals and 17 points. The year before that, 12 goals and 30 points. He's a solid bottom 6 guy. He'll be 29. And then signed Victor Arvidsson, 2 years for $5 million per. Arvidsson's always been a solid player. He's had some injuries in the past. Was in Nashville for a while. Was in Boston last year. Also spent time with the Kings and the Oilers, but very good year last year. 25 goals and 54 points. Like I said, he's injured a lot. He's only played 70 or more games twice in his career. So he's due to miss a solid 15 to 20 games, but one hell of is a 25 to 30 goal a year guy, 50, 60 point guy. I mean, he had 25 goals and 54 points, and he missed 13 games last year. So he's a good player. He'll be 33. He also joins the Detroit Red Wings. Capitals make a couple of moves. They signed Boone Jenner, 4-year deal worth $5.75 million a year. Jenner's always been a solid player. He was in Columbus for a while, for the entirety of his 13-year career, actually. Last year, 13 goals and 38 points. He's always been that kind of player. This is a solid third-line center guy. Going to be 33. And he gets a bag from the Washington Capitals, who definitely are loading up. They have re-signed Alex Ovechkin a year for $4.2 million. If I had to guess, this will be his last season. That
guy's probably in his 40s.
Yeah, you're right. He's 40 at the moment. He'll be 41 in a couple of months. So he'll be 41 this season. I mean, you're right. He has nothing left to prove. I'm sure I have to read his resume, but 12-time All-Star. He was the rookie of the Calder Memorial Trophy winner in 2006. He was rookie of the year back in 2006. He was first overall pick in 2004. He won a cup a few years ago. He won the Art Ross in 2008. I think it's for the most points in the league. He's got the Conn Smythe for 2018 for most valuable player in the postseason. And he is obviously the all-time leading goal scorer in history of the league. He has 929 career goals. That's the most in league history. He also has the most power play goals in league history with 331. He got the most game-winning goals in league history of 141. And this is kind of a useless stat, but he has the most shots on goal in league history of over 7,100. He's led the league in shots on goal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, each of his first 6 years, and he's done so an additional 5 times as well. So, the guy, even at 40 years old, last year had 32 goals at 40 years old, which is just crazy. And
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Wayne Gretzky's the GOAT, but to break that record is insane.
Yes.
I think that's and also let's not mention that he's going to go down as well as easily to me the greatest Washington Capital of
By
all
far,
time.
yes.
No doubt, it's not even close. He's going to get his jersey retired there, and you could probably argue him as one of the top five, top 10 greatest hockey players.
I'd say he's at least top 10 for sure, and probably his top 5 at this point. And probably his last year, there was a lot of rumors he was going to retire after last year, especially since they were the one seed in the East. They ended up losing him a second round. I think if they had gotten a little further in the playoffs, he might have, but he probably wants to try one more time. Washington made a couple of big moves, trading for Jordan Kyrou, who's really good. He's a guy that can give you 30 goals in the season. They make the big move to Simon trade for Alex Tuck, who's an elite player. You go out and sign Boone Jenner as a good player, so they're definitely loading up for probably his last run. I assume this will be his last season.
It's not like so Ovechkin. Don't LeBron it, man.
But yeah, please don't.
You got your record. You can retire.
Exactly.
Go.
Granted, he's still one of the best players in the league, but yes, Ovechkin, don't play till you're 46 because you want to try and win one more cup in your twilight years. Yep, don't do that. Don't do that. But moving along, Leafs make a trade with the Lightning. They get Nick Paul from Tampa. They get up Dennis Hillsby. They think it's a prospect of a third and a fourth round pick. Paul's he's a solid player. Last year was hurt a lot. It's only 7 goals and 15 points. Year before that, 22 goals and 41 points. So he's a good player. He'll be 31. He heads to Toronto, and then they signed Sergei Bobrovsky, 3 years for $7 million per. So Sergei, this was rumored for a little while now, and then once Florida made the move for who did they make the move for? Whatever goalie that they got, I can't remember. I think we knew that Bobrovsky was going to be out of town. He's had a great career, a back-to-back Cup Finals winner. He won the Vezina back in 2013 with Columbus, gotten close a couple of other times. A finalist 40 award in 24, had 2 insane playoff runs, but wasn't great last year. 307 goals against average and 877 save percentage. He's going to be 38 years old this coming year. So I honestly don't know how this contract is going to age. It would be completely on brand for the Leafs to throw $21 million at a 37 or 38-year-old goalie who was once great, has 2 cups and the Vezina, and for him to just completely fall apart. But he hasn't gotten there yet, but he did not have a good year last year. Granted, Florida had a ton of injuries last year. And Toronto, I mean, they've been bad defensively for what feels like 2 decades. Or they did bring in Darren Radish, who's a very good player. So we'll see if that helps. And they also signed Jack Roslovic to a 2-year deal worth $4 million a year. Roslovic, he had a good year last year. He had 22 goals and 45 points back in 2022 with Columbus. For a few years, didn't really recover, but last 2 years and then he came on 2 years ago, and this year in Edmonton has been good. 21 goals this past year. He's a good centerman. And he gets a 2-year deal from the Toronto Maple Leafs. I wish he did that on the Rangers a couple of years ago in the playoffs, but I guess we can't all have everything that we want, I guess. The Sharks made a couple of moves. They trade for Darnell Nurse, give up Shakir Mukhamadullin and the rights to Zachary Sharp. They took on all of Darnell Nurse's contract, which is kind of a surprise. Nurse is still a good player. Last year, 7 goals and 24 points, but not what he once was. Going to be 31 years old. I would have liked to see them maybe see if Warriors would eat some money, but they do not. And they take on his whole deal. And they give up Shakir. I'm going to pronounce this wrong. It's this defenseman from Russia, Shakir Mukhamadullin, I think his name is. He's going to be 25. He's only played 83 career games in 3 seasons, so we'll see what he becomes for Edmonton. And Zachary Sharp, I believe, is just a prospect. That also goes the other way in this deal. His numbers aren't even coming out, so he's definitely a prospect, probably our recent draft pick. And the Sharks also signed Jacob Trouba, 4 year, which I could not believe. 4 years at 8.25 million this season. Yeah, that's the one.
Existence.
Yes. Former Rangers captain, probably one of the worst captains in sports history, Jacob Trouba, who's had a good career. He was top 10 pick in 2012, had some great years in Winnipeg, and had some good years with the Rangers. Had a better year in Edmonton and Anaheim last year, 10 goals and 35 points last year. So he's still a good puck mover, still a good offensive defenseman, but he's a complete pine cone on the back end. It's gonna be 32. I wouldn't have given them more than 3 years, and 8.2 million is a lot for True at the stage in his career. So I did not like that deal for the San Jose Sharks. Gets him a veteran who can contribute right away on a very young team that's star for talent outside of Macklis and Labrini, but I think they overpaid for him. The Golden Knights extend Rasmus Anderson, one of the best defensemen in hockey, on a gets a 7 year deal worth $8.5 million a year. This is much closer to an $8.5 million player for sure. Last year, they got him at a deadline from Calgary. He last year had 17 goals and 30 assists and 47 points. One of the elite defensemen in the game. He'll be 30 this coming season, and the Golden Knights lock him down. The Bruins and the Rangers make a trade. Those two teams don't make many trades, but the Bruins get Will Borgen from the New York Rangers. Rangers have a second rounder on this coming draft in 27, a conditional third in 2028. I'm assuming it becomes a second if he plays enough games or if the Bruins advance enough into the playoffs. As a fan, I don't mind this trade. Borgen was just kind of a fine player. He wasn't very good in Seattle. He was just kind of okay in Seattle. When they got him for Capo Caco, I thought that was not enough of a return. I will say he played very well 2 years ago. I never thought that 4 year extension was necessary. I thought it was too much money. And last year he was kind of just okay. And he heads to Boston. Not terrible pickup for Boston, but I think the Rangers got more than what I thought he was worth back. He had 5 goals and 15 points last year. He'll be 30 years old this coming year. Part of that was because to facilitate a different move, because the Rangers were busy. They bring in Marcus Pettersson from the Vancouver Canucks to give up a top 10 protected first in 2030 for Marcus Pettersson. He's a solid player. 3 goals, 18 and 18 points last year. He'll be 30. Overall, I think they got a solid group of defensemen. They got Adam Fox, who's a superstar. I know he expressed some displeasure last year being there, but he's there right now. So I haven't heard any trade rumors about him. You signed Gavrikov last year, who's a good player. Scott Morrow's the guy you got for Keandre Miller. He played a lot late in the year. He looked pretty good. Vakanine's a serviceable player, and now you add Patterson, who's a good player. That's a good trade. It's the pick you give up. I mean, who knows what happens in 4 years? The Rebels could be in the Cup final. They could suck. We don't know, and it's tough and protected. I think Vancouver just wanted to give him away. Rangers also signed Oliver Bjorkstrand a year for $4.5 million. He heads to the Rangers. He's had some like issues in different teams, like where he ended up getting traded. And he's not quite the same player last year. 12 goals and 32 points, but he's still a solid player. It's gonna be 31 for a year. I think it's a decent move. They just need all the goal playing they can get. That's why they made a deal, I assume, for Pavel DeForia, whatever his name is from Vegas, the 25-year-old star. And they're ready to make another trade. The Bruins on another smaller trade. They bring in backup goalie Joonas Korpisalo, who wasn't good last year. 3.15 goals against average on 894 save percentage, but he's had much better years in the past. So hopefully he can play a little better next year. He'll be 32. So to the Bruins, a 28 fourth round pick, and Kalle Vasanen heads to the Boston Bruins as well. He is a prospect. He heads to the Boston Bruins. Finishing up here, the Rangers do trade away Vincent Trocheck to Utah. They get Sean Durzi, Cole Bowden, and a 27 third. I like Trocheck a lot. He was a good player, very good two-way player. Though he is an aging player, I think he had 4 years left on his deal at a pretty high rate. He makes a lot of money. Last year was hurt for 15 games, but still had 16 goals and 53 points. He's a very good defender as a forward as well. He's a good player, so long to Trocheck, but he'll be 33. The Rangers bring in Sean Dursey in the trade from Utah. But shout out to the Utah Mammoth making some moves in this free agency period. They bring in Anders Lee on a multi-year deal, and now you bring in Trocheck. So Utah has been busy this free agency period. Sean Dursey is a really good player for Rangers to bring back. Very good young defenseman. 5 goals, 27 points. He's going to be 28 years old. They got a lot of good defensemen. Fox is a star. Gavrikov is the guy still in his prime, who's very good. Scott Moore was really young. Durkee is a very good player who's still in his prime. Patterson's 30. He's a solid player at the end of his prime. So we're just trying to reconform their crew of defensemen in front of Igor Shesterkin. They get Cole Bowden in the deal as well. I'm gonna try and pull him up now. I believe he is a prospect that the Rangers acquire in the deal as well. Yes, let's see. He was the first round pick 2 years ago by the Utah Mammoth. He is still, let's see how old he is. He is 20, still just 20 years old. He was even younger than I thought he was. Last year, he played for the Barry Colson OHL and had 33 goals and 88 points. Granted, it's in the OHL, but he's a kid who has talent, and they get a third round pick. So they did get I think a very solid return for Richard Churchill. But that's a very good pickup for the Utah Mammoth. The Canadiens extend Ivan Demidov, more high pick, turns into one of the best young defensemen in hockey. 8-year extension worth $9.1 million a year. He heads to Montreal. 19 goals and 62 points for him. From our 5th overall pick. Assuming he's not a defenseman, he's a right winger. He actually was the runner up for the Calder Trophy last year for the Rookie of the Year and made first team on rookie. He will still just be 21 years old. He's not even drinking age yet, and he just got $70 million contract. Wow. I guess get your back whenever you can get it, but he is an insanely good player. And the last move I'm going to leave you with, and then we got one NBA trade I want to talk about with Justin here that just shocked all of us. We got the Calgary Flames, Minnesota Wild making a trade. Flames get Jake Middleton, a 29 second round pick, a 2027 third round pick, and a 2028 fourth round pick. And they send Blake Coleman and Oli Mata the other way. So Jake Middleton, we're going to talk about him first. That is the main piece that Calgary acquires in this trade. Jake Middleton, his numbers are not coming up for some reason. Here we go. Jake Middleton, he's 30. He is 30 years old. He comes to Calgary. Last year had with Minnesota 2 goals and 16 points. So he's a solid defenseman. Flames get him, and then the other way, along with the picks, that's who Calgary gets. The Wild get Blake Coleman in this deal. He was once on the Devils at once upon a time early in his career. He's been in Calgary for a while. Had 20 goals and 35 points last year. He's gonna be 35, so he's an older player, but still a good goal scorer. The Minnesota adds and Oli Mana, I feel like has been playing my whole life, which is kind of crazy. I'm gonna pull him up. Yeah, Oli Mana was first round pick back in 2012 by Pittsburgh. He's gonna be 32 years old. He's played 13 years in the league. Last year between Utah and Calgary had 15 points, so he's not the same player, but he's still a solid player. And to finish off, very happy I have Justin here for this. We had a big trade in the NBA that I want to talk about, and then we'll get to some more other NBA stuff tomorrow. The 76ers acquired Jaylen Brown from the Boston Celtics in exchange to give up Paul George, 2 first-round picks, and 2 second-round picks. So, Justin, I was completely caught off guard by this. This shocked me. What are your thoughts on this trade?
Kramer, this was the funniest trade I've seen ever. ever. The Luka AD trade was insane. That will always be the most insane trade to me. But that wasn't funny.
No,
The Jaylen Brown trade is absolutely
hilarious.
hilarious.
Oh
And
my.
it's because he's not getting traded if he just stopped talking.
I know.
Stop talking. You are
He has a big mouth.
you're making 60 mil a year.
Exactly.
And you led your team to choking a 3-1 lead to the team you're going to. You rip on Bobby Marks on your Twitter account for bringing up analytics, and then you proceed to bring up your win-loss record over the past 10 years. That's analytics.
My God.
Use analytics. Describe how much you hate them. This means you're going to a team that is to where you are probably at its best, you are the second option.
Yeah.
At its worst, you're the fourth option.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey over you. If VJ Edgecombe has the year he did last year, he will be the second option. If Joel Embiid learns to actually shoot a basketball without falling over, he could be the second option, and Jaylen Brown would end up being the fourth. Yeah. But this goes to show as well how little the Celtics value you. They value you so little. They value you with such Brad Stevens values you so little that he traded you away for 2 first-round picks and an aging, washed forward.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. Let that sink in, Jaylen Brown, and stop running your mouth.
Does Paul George does he have something on a lot of these general managers? Why does every single team, every 4 years, decide let's trade a bunch of assets for Paul George? Are they stupid? Are they never gonna learn? He was in Indiana. Indiana trades him for Victor Oladipo and Sabonis. Oladipo, before his knee gave out, was one of the best players in the league. He developed into a star for a few years there. Sabonis ended up trading for Tyrese Halliburton, who took them to the finals. And then he gets traded to the Clippers. Clippers just said, you know what, OKC, you can just have a dynasty. You can just have it. Of course, they get that SGA deal. He wins 2 MVPs. He wins a ring. They're still got a chance to win multiple more championships before his career is over. And Paul George got to what? 2 conference finals with the Clippers. He goes to
the Clippers.
Yeah.
The Pacers one time.
Yeah. So he made to 1 conference finals with the Clippers, playing with Kawhi Leonard, by the way. Then he goes to the 76ers on that ridiculous 4-year deal. And he's been injured most of the time when he's been out there. It's been very inconsistent. He is not the same player. And he was suspended for repeating for 25 games this past year. So he's not been on the court for probably the majority of his tenure the last 2 years. And he has won a grand total of 1 playoff series in 2 years. And now he goes to the Boston Celtics, which is just wild. And the picks are a 2028 first or a favorable swap, a second first in 2031 and 2 seconds. To me, Boston kind of just slammed their window shut. I thought you had at least got to give this another year. You went out and signed Mitchell Robinson. You got yourself a big man. Obviously, Mitch has his flaws with his health and what he cannot do offensively. Watching him shoot free throws is like watching somebody get stabbed over and over again. But also an elite rebounder, an elite shot blocker, and an elite defender. Good fit for Boston. You have Jason Tatum coming back completely fully healthy next year. And if there was a piece to move off, I would have moved off Derek White, who did not have a good year this past year, was horrific in the postseason, though he's still a very good player. Yeah, I guess it seemed like he always felt slighted by Boston because he was always living in Jason Tatum's shadow.
Six.
Oh, it's selfish. Don't get me wrong. It's selfish as hell.
Get to your left. Tell it get to your left.
Yes. Again, I think it's selfish too.
I got you off, Jake, but
No, go ahead.
Cheer all year. You have to prove that you are a leader and that you are that you can lead this team to the promised land without Jason, because and really Jason Tatum should be on the same playing field as Jason Tatum, and you're not.
Yeah.
And you're not. You failed. You failed. And if it wasn't for the fact that the East this year was, quite frankly,
weak,
terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. It was riddled with injuries and tanking players and tanking teams. You probably are you're probably the 5th, 6th seed in this. Like, if this was a fully healthy Pacers team, you're losing games.
Yeah.
If you had to deal with way more than what you had to deal with, you are losing way more games than this. So yeah, it's like I don't feel like, I don't want to hear from Jaylen Brown, I have a chip on my shoulder because blah 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 Jason Tatum. No. You had the opportunities to show that you should be under a shadow, but you always will be.
Yeah. I think just, to me, what confuses me is, we know what Jaylen Brown is at this point in his career. He is an elite number 2 option on a championship team. If he's your first option, you will not win a championship. Why do I say that? Because he was the number 2 option on the 2024 team, and he was great. The team won it all. They were dominant. Jaylen Brown was actually found MVP that year. And this year, he was the first option, and he played great on paper. He averaged, 28 points a game, first team All-NBA. But in that playoffs against Philadelphia, he was not good. Still hilarious. That's the team he goes to, by the way. He was not good in that series, and it ended up costing the Celtics in the end. They blew a 3-1 lead to Joel Embiid in the first round. They played so bad in those last 3 games. They had people thinking they were going to beat the Knicks in the second round. The Knicks put belt to ass in 4 games against them. It was even remotely close the whole series. So and now he goes to Philadelphia. Like, I mean, I guess I still think Philadelphia is going to win a championship with him, for being completely honest. They still won't trade.
I mean, Philadelphia, this now is your time. You should be realistically the 3rd best team in the East right now. You should be, because it's going to be the Knicks at 1, and then I'd probably say the Pistons, and then 3rd I hope is the Heat, ideally, and then Philly should be up there.
Yeah,
as one of the best teams. But if this doesn't work, if you lose in the first round, or if you once again make it to the second round and lose miserably again, it is time to move off Joel
Embiid.
It's been time for a while.
His contract is just so bad, nobody wants to trade for him.
It's been time for about 4 years.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
It has been.
But now it's the time to where you need to move off him. The process has failed.
To me, when they blew a 3-2 lead to the Celtics a few years ago, that's when the process officially ended to me. Yeah. Like that era had died then.
Yeah, the process has failed.
It's failed, yes.
The process did not work.
No.
It has not. It's time to move on to VJ the solution, Edgecombe, and start the solution era.
Yeah.
Say the answer because that was Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
But Joel Embiid the process has not worked.
Yeah.
And we know that.
But yeah, Jaylen Brown, it's simple. He would rather be the first option on a first round exit team where he makes first team All-NBA and stocks cash, than be the second best player and a second team All-NBA guy on a championship team. It's the most confusing and selfish thing I've ever heard, but that's just his mindset. He felt in Tatum's shadow. I'm sure from what I've gathered over the years that whenever the talk about breaking up with Jays, they always talk about moving off Brown, not Tate. I think that bothered him. I mean, this is all part of the business, but for whatever reason, it bothered him more than other guys. He's a very oversensitive person. Very annoying as well. Great basketball player, but also very annoying. And this whole thing is just weird. I always found it weird. I put this together about a week ago. Supposedly, him and Jason Tatum are very close. Tatum has not said a word about this whole time. You would think if they were really that close and he really wanted the guy to stay, he would come out and say something publicly, at least on social media. But that just never happened. I always found that strange. I also found it strange that Jaylen Brown said after blowing a 3-1 lead in the first round, Jaylen Brown said this was my favorite year of my career. It's like, didn't you just win a championship 2 years ago? You were Finals MVP. That year was less fun than the first round exit, blowing a 3-1 lead to Joel Embiid.
I guarantee you the reason why I liked because everybody was looking at him.
Exactly, because Tatum was injured, so he was the guy. Yeah, he had the ball in his hands more. He had the headlines.
To me, let me say something. I did not study psychology. Very few people, including you, know what I studied. Because you studied the same thing.
Right.
But to me, that almost sounds like you're a narcissist.
Yeah.
You sound like a narcissist. You do.
Pretty much.
Because this is the best year of my career. You're a fucking pick-me guy. You're such a pick-me. Oh my god, dude. You are LARPing as a superstar. Bro is a fake superstar.
I did not think the word LARPing will be brought to the table on the show. So thank you, Justin, once again. But yes, Jaylen Brown said this. Yes, you do. All right. That's all I got for you guys today. Justin, thank you for joining in. Come back anytime. Until next time, so long and have a great day.